Alright everybody, time to battle and show the deck in action. Neon Blonde, he has recently been on Recano Jido, so that should be a pretty good matchup for us. This hand is a bit clunky with the stash and a bit power heavy, even though Favor and Line are nice in this matchup. I kinda like to redraw into a little less flooded hand. Okay, he changed his deck, no more Recano Jido. Even better that we redraw then, I guess. And yeah, I'll just play this for fire, doesn't really matter. Once we have one shadow, one fire, we have all the influence we need. So no need to bother here. Let's see what we got. More power, that's not really what this hand needed, but oh well. At least we got to mill one of the power. And Devour should help us a bit get out of this lightly flooded situation. This looks like Obelisk Combre. Or simply... oh no, it's not Obelisk Combre, it's Voda Combo. One of the other decks that Neon recently wrote about and likes to play. Not sure, this matchup might actually not be that good for us. I think it's fine to just attack here. Since we want to Devour and I expect him to only block one, now we can Devour that and get 2 free damage in. Which is not that relevant, but it might come up. Oh, that's nice. So we get to Varus favor his Initiate, which is a pretty big deal in this matchup since the extra ramp is really important for him. And now we have Madness Combust once he plays a second thread. He plays Tadia's favorite, not every list plays that, but I think his list in the article had it as well. Alright, so I don't really feel like Madness Combust wasting this, so I'll rather just pass the turn and do nothing here. That's the patience that I talked about. Don't be like too aggressive and actionistic with what you're doing with the deck. Alright, opponent still doesn't provide us with anything worth madnessing. So I think we just assembly line and pass. And next turn you probably get a target. I would assume an Ascendant plus power, so we can like madness this, play a power to draw a card. That's like a huge swing. And we have a great board for Callus here. We can even like consider to just Callus and kill this guy. But I'm not sure about that. So, what's the best deal here? I almost feel like a big Callus is like the best plan here, plus we can follow it up with a Torrent next turn. Yeah, I think I'll attack with everything here. Get in for a ton of damage, and if he jumps here that's great for us, because then our Callus can even deal more harm. Yeah, I think I prefer Callus over Combust here, simply because it gets so big, and we have the Torrent plus Combust to follow up and deal with whatever he has next turn. Like if he goes Vodakan plus Seek Power, for example, there's the Vodakan. And he doesn't even have a follow-up to clean it. And we can like freely just kill this guy, hit him, and next turn he's just dead. There's not really anything he can do about it. Yep, that's not gonna do enough. I mean, I guess he could have another Parliament, but he doesn't, so game is just over. Boom. The power of Callus. It's really ridiculous and such a great feeling to kill opponents this way. Yeah, this matchup is probably better than I initially thought. The more I think about it, like, Madness Combust is just so brutal against them, and they have no good way of stopping Callus, and we should have enough ways to deal with, like, their Vodakan. Sometimes I can see us, like, falling behind and then having a hard time stopping them from doing their thing, but yeah, probably they have a much harder time to stop us from doing our thing than the other way around, and we have quite a bunch of ways to actually deal with their stuff. Like Madness plus any sack effect is a removal for one of their threats, and Madness plus Combust is a removal for two of their threats. Callus can take down some of their threats, and yeah. And Callus can just take them down, as we saw. Granted, our draw was pretty good. Alright. That's a great hand. Snap keep. Very, very nice hand. Great amount of power. Assembly line. A win condition. Some card selection. Some cheap interaction. Perfect. Couldn't have picked it much better. Given that he's fire, this might kill something, so we rather quarry here, especially because we have the third power for our assembly line already anyway. And yeah, here I'll take another torrent over the fifth power that we don't need right now. Might take a while till this becomes really good, but we'll have time. This deck almost always has time, unless it's winning. It's rarely losing too early, in my experience so far. Alrighty. Now it's getting a whole lot of torrents, but that's okay. They will make each other better, so it's not that big of a deal. This is likely gonna be like the big burn type decks that we saw in ETS this weekend, so might want to find some answer for like their potential maidens or stewards if they run them. Unfortunately, we don't have any way to punish this, so I think best course of action here probably is just drop one spider, given that we have 3 of those, to like threaten to trade with the Champion of Chaos. He has a Varus favor, that's annoying, but not much we can do about that. I think I'll jump here, prevent 2 life, and start racing back a bit, plus getting units in the void for our torrents. Okay, that's nice. That allows us to get rid of one of the champions and hit back for 5, which is actually a pretty big deal here. And I think I'm not gonna torrent yet, because he's probably gonna kill the gargoyle, and once he kills the gargoyle we get 2 spiders. No. That's kinda nasty. At least it's only gonna make 1 spider, so it's not that big of a deal. Let's see. Okay. Think I'll take the Slumbering Stone just to like increase the pressure a bunch. And now we have 2 spiders, so it's fine to just torrent here and kind of try and raise him in kind of a weird way. I'm just gonna block with the stone to activate it and take 1 damage less. Just gonna like double block here. And yeah, if we draw like a Callus, this game could shift quickly. Although Callus might not even be that great in this position because he has burn to trade champion and a burn spell for the Callus. So having the tokens right now is actually better. That's frustrating, but yeah, I'll trade here. and hopefully find an answer for the maiden. That is an acceptable answer, actually. Alright, before he gets the cudgel on it, we get rid of it, and he goes down to 11. And it's actually under quite a lot of pressure. And doesn't have the greatest ways to deal with our units. So let's hope he doesn't have that much pressure anymore. Or we just draw a removal, because the cudgels make for like a fairly quick race. Nope. That's what I meant. That's pretty good though. I'll take that any day. That's kind of what I was hoping for. Plus it provides us with a gargoyle against a potential additional Drake. So he might just be dead. Not sure if that well played was just like regarding our play, or that he's gonna lose the game, or that he has a way to kill us. Probably not a way to kill us, so likely just him dying, kind of. That's not too shabby. Do I really want to like attack this aggressively? I mean, I get him to 3, but we might die on the backswing. That doesn't seem great. I think our best course of action probably is this, plus having Devour for Gargoyle, either for the jump, or if he obliterates it and we devour it, then the obliterate doesn't deal damage to us, so that is actually a pretty big deal here. We can set up a potential kill next turn, especially with what we draw into. Okay, that's nice. Lets us like freely devour here, and takes away one of his blockers, and still keeps us out of like obliterate range. Oh, that's great. Combust is kind of exactly what we needed there. Seems like we're dead. That was a pretty close one though. I mean, if we would have done that on our turn, he still wouldn't have died, so not a big difference. Plus we played around the potential obliterate. Like if he has obliterate there, he very certainly is trying to obliterate the gargoyle, and that would have been huge for us with the devour. We did all we could to win it, and sometimes it's just not enough. All that matters is setting yourself up to win. If the game and the draws allow you to. And that's what we did. And came very close to actually winning a pretty interesting and close game. Alright. Throwback to the Rakano days. Don't mind with this hand. Gonna make a pretty big callus next turn to start controlling the board. Alright, so down goes his unit, and fortunately enough our callus is protected from his weapon by our gargoyles. That unfortunately means he gets one of our gargoyles kind of for free, but we have a callus that will punish at least his next unit that he's gonna play, and another gargoyle to pressure him. And stash to rinse repeat, which should probably be enough to take the game. Alright, so I think kind of just wanna take this guy simply because we cannot madness through the Aegis and stuff, so that's fine. And I think I'll use this to jump block potentially. and protect it. And then we just stash next turn and lock up the game, basically. That's the plan. I mean, if he has a torch here for the Callus or another sort of Icaria, that's okay. Since we have stash. Okay, that's great. So I think hitting this is better because of the spiders. He has torch, alright. That's fair. Time to stash back these two guys and the Callus and pass. And next turn we can make a monstrous Callus or just madness Callus, which is also great. Yep, madness Callus would be great. Madnessing this and Callusing this. There's the power, awesome. And that should be game. Boom boom. It's a bit unfortunate to not be able to make the Callus bigger, but given the torrent and stuff that we have, that should be fine. Okay, I didn't expect this one. Not bad, I guess. But we have plenty of stuff to keep it busy. And I think Madness Callus was still a bit better than just making a big Callus there. And we don't really have the time to like set it up further and delay everything basically. Okay, so let's see how many units we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it takes a little while till we get another spider. So I'm inclined to just make another spider to get rid of this weapon ASAP. I think that's a bit better. That's good, I guess. Let's see what he silences. Yep, spider. Takes down another one and we can just drop this. Get a wake up our gargoyle and still have a deadly against the potential non-quick draw unit he draws. And some pressure on the board, so we are in a pretty solid shape here. There's the non-quick draw unit I was talking about. Oh, and more spiders. Might not actually use that yet, we have enough board and can offer some potential trades here, so. Gonna block like this. If he has like a finest hour or a torch, I'll prefer that. Yep. There we go. Makes our spiders bigger. And gives us another flyer. Alright. That should be game. Pretty convincingly. And down he goes. Alright, that's a pretty sweet 2-1. Very close loss against Big Burn, which is arguably definitely more problematic than Burn Queen. Because they have less lower impact cards that we can trade well with. But yeah, the game was pretty close regardless. And we could that could have easily gone our way with slightly different things going on, but like if the Flame Blast would have been an obliterate, we might have just won this game, won that game because it would have obliterated our gargoyle for sure, and then we could have blown him out. But that didn't happen. Alright, 2-1, pretty good start for this series. Stay tuned for 3 more games with this really sweet deck. I hope you enjoyed it so far. I'm back in a moment. Stay tuned.